Let me preheat our oven. My oven. Where y'all coming in? All right, oven is preheated, and I dropped the air because it's already hot in Texas. We got a little rain today, so it's a little bit but cooler but still hot. All right, so let me check, make sure we live everywhere. Turn it down a little bit. Live in the group. Hope y'all having a good week. This has been a week, but it is what it is. Live on my personal page. Let me check YouTube, and so I can monitor the comments. Okay, we good. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to come in, check, and then, oh, let me drop the recipe. So this is our sour cream pound cake series. Today we're doing 5.0, which we're going to bake with no baking powder, no additional salt. Y'all know I love the salted butter, so we're doing salted butter and oil, vegetable oil this time. If you didn't catch the series, if you're on YouTube, go look at the, I created an actual playlist so you can catch the series. Everybody else can go to my website, whippolitebutter.com. And you can find the series there. Just search sour cream pound cake, and all of them will come up. Hey, just me, Douglas. The first one is just sour cream pound cake, and the other ones are 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, all of that. Hey, Karen from Savannah. Okay, let me close some of these tabs. Okay, we all set. I need several screens because for whatever reason, okay, I can see these comments right here. So I can see on my personal page. I can't see from the group. So let me pull that up. Okay, so I have to flip back between the group and YouTube. That's cool. All right, y'all. Ooh, my voice. Let me do some rearranging. Wash my hands, and we're gonna get right into it. Okay, I think this is gonna work. All right, hold on. I gotta get my bowls. Okay, so for this recipe, we're using tried and true again, using the same pan each time. 12 cup bump pan. We're using regular granulated sugar. I think I'm gonna grab my other bowl. Let's do the combo flour. Y'all been liking that? The cake flour and all-purpose flour mix. Let's do that. What y'all think? Y'all want to do cake flour and all-purpose flour, all-purpose flour? We're not gonna do all cake flour. That's just, I like it sometimes, just sometimes. Dale, I'm tired. How you doing? If you want to keep it real, I'm tired today. But we making it. It's almost Friday. Renita wants to do cake flour. Let's start with the sugar while y'all still voting. We move this down so y'all can see. All right, so we're gonna start off with our 4 cups of sugar. Sorry, look, I'm thinking we making that shows y'all how long I've been making Mile High pound cakes. We're doing 3 cups of sugar. All right, so I'm using half a cup of measure. Asami said both. Dell said all purpose. Okay. So let me count because y'all know I get carried away running my mouth. 1. I'm gonna add 3 more. This is the perfect time to ask your baking questions if you want to ask something. We just trying to vibe in together. Y'all are coming along with me to do this pound cake testing series. I have like 2 or 3 more parts I want to do. I ain't gonna tell y'all yet. But I'm very excited about one of the parts. That would be a true never have situation for me that I want to test. That I think it'll be cool for us to do together. All right, that's 6, right? Yeah, you can do 2. This is a base recipe. Look, did I even provide the recipe? Let's back it up. This is a base recipe that I'm providing. As with any recipe, you tailor it to your needs. So, hey from Florida. So if 3 cups of sugar is too much for you, use 2. I've used 2, and it's been fine. Okay. So we have our sugar. So we're gonna do a combo with the flour. And we're gonna do a combo with the flour. We're gonna do cake flour and all-purpose. That's been good, y'all. Cake flour is not my preferred. It's good, but I do like it together. All right, so we're gonna start off with our AP, I guess. So we're doing 3 cups of flour, so we're gonna do 1.5 cups for each, right? Hey from Carolina, South Carolina to be exact. Usually I do the beginner's tips on here. I wasn't gonna do them tonight. If y'all like for me to do the beginner's tips about how you should properly measure your flour and all of that, I'm cool with that. Hey Audrey. So this time measure my flour, but the proper way to measure your flour is to spoon it and then level it. You can also weigh it. I don't weigh. And I don't sift. Sift if you want to. Sift once, sift twice. This is pre-sifted flour. Even so, like I always tell you, I still wouldn't sift. Bolingbrook, Illinois. Never heard of it, but hey, from Illinois. Okay, so 1, 2. I'm about to be out of cake flour. I have to make sure I put that on the list for our next bake. And what y'all think? Would y'all like if I put like variations in my recipes? So for example, this cake can be made with all-purpose flour. It can be made with cake flour. It can be made as a combination. You think I should put those variations in my recipes? I think. Let me know if y'all that's something y'all be interested in. I think somebody said they were from Texas. Hold on. Y'all from everywhere tonight. Hey y'all. Well, I don't know what you're saying, baby. Let me know what that is. 30 miles from the shop? Okay. Let me get this dust off my hands. Have our bowl for our oil. Like I said, with the flour, don't whisk. If you want to, you can fluff it. You can also use a whisk. Forgot everybody can't see, so I'm just going in here like this. Okay. So our oil, what y'all think we should use? 1/4 cup, 1/3 cup? I've already decided, but what y'all think? Okay. Y'all want the variation from the servers for each variation of flour? Okay, cool. Just want to check the comments and give y'all a chance to respond about the oil. 1/3. Somebody said 1/3. So when you're doing recipe testing, of course, from just knowledge and because we're already using butter, a 1/2 cup I already know is going to be too much. It's just unnecessary. We already have butter. We're only using the vegetable oil to add extra moisture into the cake. So 1/3 or 1/4 is about a good amount. I don't sift my flour ever. I use pre-sifted flour, but even if I wouldn't sift it. Okay, you saying Betty was saying you can grind granulated sugar to make powdered sugar and use it instead of granulated sugar. Somebody said it in the Facebook group. Yeah, you can. There is a such thing as a powdered sugar pound cake. I want to try it one day to see what it is, what it's like. I'll probably still do, regular, but I would try it to see what it's like. It'll probably be good, but that's a good idea just to, if you decide you want to make powdered sugar and you don't have any. What other oil could be used? I wouldn't use any other oil. Some people said that they have used coconut. That would be one of those things that you would have. I mean, of course, something like corn oil, I would not use it in a pound cake, but you can try it. Vegetable oil is also used for like frying meat, but you can use it for baking. So I would just figure out, with different trial and error what you can use, but I'm not an expert in that area. All right, so what else? So we have our butter over here and our eggs over here already. Our butter and we have our eggs. I'm not gonna pick them up, but we have, I think we're gonna use vanilla bean paste. I have vanilla extract, but vanilla bean paste has been where it's at. That's just extra. And almond extract, y'all. A lot of people in like the group don't like, hey Gil, don't like almond extract, but it's good. I know I don't talk about brands, but this is a time for y'all to see my brands and my videos and stuff. And this is so good, this vanilla bean paste. Can't find that sweet spot, but it's Bowler Ran. It's clear over here. Phone is tripping. All right, so that's the extract paste situation that we have going on over here. So did we forget anything? You know, I feel like a little light today because I'm not using any baking powder, which is different for me. Baking powder is not necessary for a pound cake. Salt is not necessary for a pound cake. I like the baking powder for the extra lift, but you do not need it for a pound cake. The eggs, the process, and how you prepare the pound cake is what gives it the lift. You don't need it. Audrey does almond extract and vanilla bean paste. Yeah, it's better than vanilla extract. Pricey, but definitely worth it. I use 1/4 cup of oil. So 1/4 is smaller than 1/3, and that's, of course, there's nothing in there, but just to show you how much it was. And that looks like a lot. So, you know, adding extra is a little bit too much for me. But if you want to add extra, try. That's the thing. Trial and error, everybody has different preferences, right? Okay. So we didn't miss anything. My butter's been out. I took it out about 3. You should take your butter out, depending on your home, depending on the region that you're in, is how early you need to take your butter out. If my butter is frozen, I need to say, because I freeze a lot of butter, I buy it and I keep it on sale when I go to Sam's. I usually have to take it out 4 hours ahead of time. Sometimes 4.5, like if it's the winter months. This time of year, 2 hours is pretty good. It seems like salted doesn't get as soft as fast as when I use unsalted butter. 3 hours was good for that, but 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, I would say. I do use pure vanilla extract. Alicia's used canola oil in her pound cake. Okay, see, that's what we're here for, so we can learn from each other, because I don't know every single thing, right? And you can always learn something from somebody else. All right, y'all ready to put this cake together? Move this down. I like to situate you all so you can kind of see into the bowl. But I'll still be watching for your questions and stuff. Get reorganized. Move this one down and over. All right, I think I got 3 cameras set up, y'all. So let me wash my hands and we'll get into it. And I take my eggs, sour cream, and my butter out all at the same time too, just to let y'all know. So of course we're gonna start with the butter, and I took 4 sticks of butter out like I'm making a Mile High. Yo, I'm so used to making those cakes. That must mean I need to bake one. But I'm actually thinking about taking a little break for July. July is my birthday month. And then I know the holidays are gonna be crazy. And for y'all who don't know, I still work full time. So I'm thinking about taking July to just do some other little tasks on my website, but not actually bake a new cake. We'll see. I'm gonna be on vacation, so I might get a wild hair. We're using salted. I use a combination of butter. I used the Swan's cake flour and the all-purpose. All right, so 3 sticks of butter, right? If we're going by the recipe. Yeah, Land O'Lakes is expensive, but I only buy that on sale, honey. I believe. Let me turn this on, right? If we're gonna make it work. I buy all my butter. I buy a lot. I buy everything on sale if I can. Meat, everything. It is expensive, but on sale, it was $2.99 this past week. I do use emulsions in my pound cake. If y'all want to use the vanilla bean, it's in my store. Let me drop the link to my store. I see y'all already ordering on Amazon. If you be so kind, if you click through to my store, even if you don't want to buy something from my store, you click through my store first, I get credit for it. So I appreciate that. Yep, it was just $2.99. So we're gonna slowly add in our sugar. Oh, and also purchasing from my Amazon store. There's no other cost or anything associated for you. So if you didn't catch the beginning of the live, we're doing 3 cups of flour. We did half all-purpose, half cake flour. We're using 3 cups of sugar. If you want to cut the sugar back, you surely can and just use 2 cups. We're just going to let that go till it's nice, light, and fluffy, and then we're going to add in our oil. I haven't done research on different butters. You mean brands or do you mean types? Like Land O'Lakes versus Kerrygold, because Kerrygold is a different type of butter. Can I convert regular recipes so 1 stick of butter is equal to what in ounces? I might do like a chart, or something like that. But I could do 100 conversions, just to be honest, like grams and ounces and stuff like that. So I might do a chart. Someone asked if my vanilla bean paste has oil in it. No oil. It's like an invert syrup, vanilla extract, vanilla bean specks, xanthan gum, and aca gum. I hope I said it. I butchered it, but okay. Okay, y'all get it. I have used off-brand butter in my pound cake. Kroger and Walmart are my stores for certain things. I go to them for different things, but I'll use their butter in my pound cake. Yes, the equivalent amount of emulsion for extract. Same thing with vanilla bean paste. I'm gonna use the equal amount that I would use of extract. Hey, that's so sweet to me. Somebody said they use Aldi butter. I've never used it. I'm not opposed to it. I've never used it to bake. I have used it, but not to bake. I think, and I'm just going by what I think, not a test. I think that as long as you use stick butter, now we're not going to get into the whole other kind of butter debate, imperial butter. We're not going to do that. I think if you use butter, real butter, and not butter you put on bread, you okay. And we're just going to leave it right there. Okay, so I creamed my butter and sugar for about 5 minutes. or until it's nice, light, and fluffy and has a pale color. So you could already see the butter is changing color as we go. You see it, if you're using a stand mixer, you see it start sticking to the sides of the bowl. You don't have to use a stand mixer. A lot of people ask that. Don't go out and spend $300 or plus on a stand mixer if you're not going to be baking on a regular basis. I mean, if it's in your budget, you want to buy it, of course you do whatever you want to do. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you don't have to have a stand mixer to bake. A lot of people think that. I don't know where that came from. You know, maybe because people use them so much. But like in my group, and particularly, a lot of people have businesses, or they cook at high volume, or bake at high volume, or that's just something they have. You know, they may have family come over and do a lot during the holidays, and they just want to have it at their convenience. And I'm at the lowest speed, y'all. So this is a 1. You can put it at a 2 if you want to. This is 2. It doesn't matter. I take my time with it. So 1, 2, whatever you want to do. Oh yeah, too much. You can use too much of anything. So if you use too much extract, yeah, it's just gonna be overbearing with the extract. Somebody asked a question about the flour. No matter what kind of flour I use, I don't sip. That's just my preference. You can sip, I just don't sip. So that bag I heard was a gift from my husband. See? You can probably see if you're close enough. The texture is changing already. And nothing wrong with a Hamilton Beach. You know, KitchenAid is known to be a great brand, but I mean, I've never used one. Not because I have a problem with it. I've never used one, but plenty of people have used it and said it was fine. Use what you can until you can do something else. You know. Hey D, I'm trying to catch y'all and say hey as y'all come in. I like to stop and look at it. It looks like it's about how I want it. Kind of fluffy like custard. Y'all can see it. Since we have it stopped, and it doesn't have to be stopped for you to add in your extract or emulsion, but since we have it stopped, you get ready to measure. I don't, you can pre-measure your emulsions, but because of how it flows from the bottle, I prefer to just freely measure as I go. So I'm going to use 2 teaspoons, and that's healthy teaspoon. You see, it's kind of like, I wouldn't call it, we're going to call it thick, for lack of a better word. It's a little thick, but it ain't like, you know, like putty or anything, right? And I'm throwing a little almond, just a little taste. Half a teaspoon. Usually I don't use any more than 2 teaspoons of whatever. So you can use what I'm saying, and you can use a different extract if you want to. Like you use lemon in here if you want to, even though it's kind of turned into a lemon pound cake. But this works for this recipe. I like a little almond. It just does a little something different. And I use name brand extracts. It's just a thing. Not necessarily I feel like store brand. I have used Kroger extracts. But I just like to use good products too. And so when I find a product I like, I kind of stick to it. So we're going to put our oil in now. Emulsion is just like an extract, but to me it infuses the batter with flavor. So it's a little bit different. It's hard for me to explain it. Something you have to try. But to me it really creates a flavor throughout your batter. It's different. We have our oil. And we're going to add our eggs one at a time. Y'all like McCormick. I also like Watkins. I see a comment about a Pampered Chef. I want to look, but I don't want to overbeat my eggs, so hold on. So we're going to add them one at a time and mix just until combined. So the yellow is starting to go away, so we drop another egg. You want to use lemon Meyer juice. Okay. Oops. See, two jumped in there. Hold on, let me pay attention for a second. Then I'll answer y'all's question. So this is my first time using this much oil in a cake. I usually like maybe add like a couple of tablespoons, but we're gonna see how it comes out. Okay. Can I use lemon Meyer juice in the batter instead of lemon extract and not mess it up? I never used lemon Meyer juice. It's just lemon juice, right, per se. So, you know, go for it. Use it like an extract. I add my extracts after I cream my butter and sugar and before I add my eggs. You want Pampered Chef? Okay, but you like the KitchenAid better. That's cool. Lemon and vanilla is a good mix. A lot of people like lemon. Lemon is very good. It just, lemon don't like me, so I don't use it that much. Okay. 6 eggs. I'm gonna drop the recipe for y'all again too. I'm gonna drop the base recipe for y'all. So of course we added some variations. We built upon this recipe, but this is a base recipe. This cake comes out good. I like this combination. Then I'll add it to my website. All right, 6 large eggs is what we use for this recipe. I was just talking to my mom before I came on live, and she uses oil in her pound cakes all the time. And so we were talking about just the different ways that we do things, and she was telling me that she adds her sour cream and then she adds her flour a little bit at a time. I alternate my flour with my sour cream. I say that to say it's 100 ways to do anything. She makes wonderful cakes. You know what I mean? You can do either or. I'm gonna alternate. So since it's been sitting, it's settled some. So I'm just gonna give it a stir on sour cream. Full fat sour cream, honey. No low fat, whatever variations they got. All fat, 1 cup. Okay. I'm gonna scrape down the side of the bowl. Let's do it. When do y'all scrape down the sides of the bowl? Do y'all do it every time y'all add something, or do you do it as you go? Of course, I can use the one with the edge scraper. I didn't like it. I felt like it was mixing my cakes too fast. Maybe it's me, honey. Probably was, but I didn't like it. You do like my mom does? Okay. I like to go ahead and stop my mixer so I don't over mix. So I'm just mixing the flour until it combines. Same thing with the sour cream. Hey, Joy. You scrape the bowl after each edition? Okay. I like to know what other people do. I'm probably gonna do one more round of each and that's it. Hey, from the Crooked Little State. Next time I come to Mississippi, I need to visit Gulfport. I didn't get to last time. Instead, I flew into New Orleans and I went to New Orleans before I left. I went to Mississippi to my reunion in Hattiesburg, which is just 2 hours out of New Orleans and what about 2 hours from Gulfport. I couldn't do it all. Sorry for all the scraping and the noise and stuff. If I would have used my rubber spatula, that would have been better. Alright, got all that goodness out of there. The recipe in the comments, love. The base recipe is in the comments. We're doing recipe testing. So I'm telling you how I'm creating this recipe as we go. And if it works out, I actually put it on my website. But you got everything you need in the video. Our last mix, I like the little, I'm seeing like, it's got like a velvety, silky texture with the oil. I like that. So we're gonna stop. And let me move some of this stuff. Y'all know I don't like all that clutter. This. Alright, wipe down my space. we can work. Hey from Virginia, Patricia. If you use unsalted butter, half a teaspoon of salt. Some people use a whole teaspoon, half to a whole. Okay. I have my handle right here. I'm just gonna go around the side first. Get under the bottom. Come around the side. Boom. All right. So let me get my Lazy Susan, and we're gonna go ahead and put it in the bowl. Oven's already preheated. To 325. 325 is my sweet spot for my oven, so that's what I bake on. Yeah, KitchenAid is a great mixer. It's known to be a very great brand, lasts for years. That's why people spend the money on them, because they last. Right, let me clean this off. We go Baker's Doy act right today now. You've been doing good lately. So we're gonna spray the hell out of the pan, right? Moving back and forth. Try to spray the middle. Get up on the side. All right. Hey from Louisiana. I'm gonna get my pastry brush. I'm gonna brush it. I didn't think I was gonna brush it, but I'm gonna brush it. Somebody asked about the bristles. My bristles don't come off in my pan. I only use this pastry brush for baking my cakes. I don't use it to add barbecue to my. I don't use it to add barbecue to my chicken. None of that, and then turn around and use it for my cakes. I only use it for my cakes. All right, you don't have to brush it. I like to brush it. Right, because it will clog. Hey, Naomi, am I going in and out to y'all? If I'm going in and out on one platform, shall hop on another. I'm on YouTube, under my YouTube channel, Whip It Like Butter. I'm under my personal page, Ashley Frederick, Miss Whip It Like Butter, and in the group, Black People's Pound Cakes. Or you might just hop on the platform you on, hop back on. That might work. I don't use oil and flour, child, because I'm lazy. No, but seriously, I like Baker's Joy. It's quick, it's easy. It already has oil and flour in there. I have used that method. You know, there's nothing wrong with old school methods. It didn't fail us before, but I've gotten so used to Baker's Joy that that's just what I use. And it's quick. I don't have to I don't have to put the oil and dust the pan. I know it only takes a couple of minutes, but I like the spray. Child, I don't put none of my I don't put KitchenAid stuff in the dishwasher. No. I don't know what the instructions say, but those things are so quick. I know it can be a lot with having, you know, so many cakes to bake and stuff like that, but I don't put any of my KitchenAid stuff in the dishwasher. I will put like my measuring cups and measuring spoons, But I take them right out because I don't want them to rust. My metal ones. I take them right out and dry them. But you can risk the enamel coming off of your attachments, especially your paddle attachment. That's the one I use for my cakes. I only use the whisk for icings, glazes, toppings. All right, that look good, y'all. Yeah, it's very convenient. Like this Lazy Susan. Yeah, I could move the cake from side to side and all of that, but why? When this thing only cost me like $20, $30. I have another version in my store. Um, it don't matter what kind you get, you know, as long as it's they call it a turntable. But I love this thing. All right, so I'm gonna get a paper towel and clean up this little area. So let me just pick it up. So right here where I got like some cake on the side, when it rises, when you flipping the cake out, it could disrupt your flip. So I'm gonna get a paper towel for that. I left it on there once and like the piece got stuck and hung, and then when I flipped it, it wasn't as cute because it was showing a little piece right there, and if I would have took it off, y'all can go on and on and on. I just clean the pan up now. Listen, I ain't gonna say nothing about licking the spatula, you know, because we ain't supposed to do that, but you know how we do, right? Okay, that's all we gonna say. I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, grew up licking the bowl, spatula, anything we can get. So okay, tap, tap, tap. I'm gonna put it in the oven and I'm gonna check to see if y'all got any questions. We ain't missed nothing, right? Because you know I'll be running my mouth and I might forget something. We didn't forget anything with the cake. It's already a little bit too late since we got it mixed. I have an oven thermometer, but I know 325 is a good temperature for me. I'm preheating my oven ahead of time, just on the live so I don't forget because I'm trying to do everything by myself. But I preheat my oven early because when my oven goes off and tells me that's on 325, it's not, according to my thermometer. All right. Smoothing the top of your pound cake is definitely key. Some people's go in like so nice, and I think this can is done smooth and silky and stuff like that, but mine are my pound cake batter is a little on the thicker side, so smoothing it is key. I think it's pretty important to smooth the top of it, but if you're not having a problem and the top of your batter is smooth and stuff like that, I mean, you can try it both ways and see. Yeah, if you're having a problem with a product, definitely contact the company. Thank you, Janice. I don't know why YouTube is showing all these comments retracted. So if it's like something that you a message you put and I didn't see the response to it for some reason on YouTube, that's why. Since this is a base cake, can we use this recipe to make a sakatumi? The original is made with box mix. Yes. I actually have a sakatumi pound cake recipe on my site. I think I made it with sour cream. But sour cream is a good recipe to use as a base. But you can like you can play around with some different things. So sour cream, buttermilk, Heavy whipping cream and cream cheese are good bases. Let me see what I use for this one. Yeah, I use sour cream. So it's just pretty much a spin-off. I'll drop the link to that cake. I don't know how long it took me to put everything together. What time is it? It's 6:52. We started at 6. I mean, if I want to run in my mouth and I was okay, so typical day when I bake. Because I film while I bake, I have all my stuff, pre-put out. So I would think like preparing the cake from start to finish will not take any longer than 15 minutes. That's just the batter. You tap in, spin the pan. I love that. Thank you, Janice. I've been loving this pound cake testing series. So the only series that was not my favorite, and this is a testing series, and regardless, I keep it real with you about my cakes. It don't matter. Everything I make is not my favorite. I make a lot of stuff, just because that's what people are looking for or whatever. But the sour cream pound cake 4.0 with the shortening, baby, give me my butter, all butter. I may try it one day with maybe like 2 tablespoons of the butter instead of we replace the stick of the butter with the shortening. I like how crusty it made the cake. I think it made it a different type of crusty than with all butter. But y'all, give me my butter. It was good. I think we used butter flavor shortening, but that wasn't my favorite. Thank you, Antoine. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it going after this sour cream. I do want to. Somebody asked about glazes, that we haven't done glazes on live as much, and we haven't because usually I bake the cake and I move on. I'm trying to come on the second day. It hasn't been as popular, but I'll try it again. Sometimes different seasons, different things. But some people have trouble with glazes, with them being too thin or them being too thick. It's really a trial and error thing. I can tell you how to make my glaze. You gotta figure out how you make your glaze. But the key to baking the glaze is taking your time adding your liquid. Don't add it in there all at one time. Add a little bit, mix, add a little bit, mix until you hit that sweet spot. Add a little bit more if you need to. What's my favorite base to use? Sour cream. Buttermilk. Buttermilk in anything. A lot of people talk about pound cakes are too heavy. Pound cakes just dense. That's how it is. But buttermilk makes a lighter pound cake. It's a tender pound cake. It's different. My buttermilk pound cake recipe, okay, I have a regular and I have a mile high version. My regular, if you're not a sugar person, go with that one. It only uses 2 cups of sugar. You could definitely go for 3 because buttermilk kind of makes the cake a little less sweet, but that flavor and that moisture, whatever, and the sugar give a little extra pep. So if you want a little extra pep, use 3 cups. And I like cream cheese. So sour cream, cream cheese, I like no icing. I'm an icing glazed girl. Give you those no icing. Buttermilk, I gotta have some icing. Yeah, if a cake don't come out right, try again. Things happen with baking, and it does take practice. I bake in a regular oven. I don't use the convection oven. So many people have complained about that. I've heard that they're for people who bake like chefs or like high volume, or they're used for cooking more so than baking. So I've heard that when you baking them, you have to drop the temperature maybe about 25 degrees and maybe change your baking time. We'll bake this cake. Matter of fact, let me set the timer. We'll bake this cake for an hour and 15 minutes. So I know I've been talking maybe about 10 minutes, so I set it for an hour and 5. I set my timer just to remind me. I bake my cake until it's done. So if I feel like it's done before an hour and 15 minutes, which mine typically aren't, I take them out. If I feel like if they need to bake a little bit longer after I've done the toothpick test, some people use, I've seen, those one of those big brands, they use spaghetti noodles. I don't know about that, it might melt. But you know, like a longer skewer. I haven't used those before because they're a little on the thicker side. But testing. But you can tell because the cake starts to pull away from your bundt pan a little bit. It on the top where it has a separation, it's wet at first, even like at the hour mark, right? Um, and then you can see it as it bakes, it's not as wet. When you press it, shouldn't be spongy. There's different indications that a pound cake is done. So long story long, time is relative. I do go by time, but I still basically baking using your senses. Use your senses, use your experience, use your judgment to determine if your cake is ready. I use cake flour and regular flour. We use both in this pound cake. As a standard, I use all purpose, but I use cake flour sometimes. Cake flour has a different flavor to me, which is good, but I'm not always in the mood for it, so I prefer all purpose. Yes, I always do my batters like that, where I add one layer and smooth it, and then add another one. I did that because for me, I started. I was having tunneling in my cake, and I think it's because I was just laying my batter in there and I was smoothing it, but I was smoothing the top, and like under the top, it wasn't getting smooth. So just to make sure, cause the feeling that you get when you see a cake with a tunnel in it after you did all of that work. Which sometimes the cake just don't come out right. I was mad. So I don't have a tunnel in my cake. That's how I do mine. Use everything but the kitchen sink. That's too funny. I've seen a lot of people using coffee creamers in their cake. I need to get around to doing it. There's so many different ways you can make a pound cake. So many different things that you can use. The pound cake has really evolved. The coffee creamers, since they have so many different flavors, that sounds tasty. I need to remember that. Your oven does convection and regular. That's cool. But you didn't like the convection. It seemed to dry it out a little bit. Okay. Yeah. I guess it's like a professional oven, you know. They just offer them to the everyone now. Have I ever added cream cheese and sour cream? Yes. Yes. Let me drop the recipe in the comments. I want to do some more of those variations too. That was very good. Very good. And I kept it simple. I just put powdered sugar on that cake. I saw someone do, what was it, cream cheese and 7-Up in the group this week. I want to try that. Where'd the question go? Okay, let me drop that. Let me drop that one. And I made a cake using buttermilk, cream cheese, and I believe it was sour cream. Let me find it. It was my Mile High Pound Cake 2.0. Baby, that was good. Yep, sour cream, cream cheese, and buttermilk. That was good. Okay, it was another question I missed. No success when incorporating cream cheese or sour cream in the milk. Only successful with 7-Up pound cake. So what's your process? So for cream cheese, if you use cream cheese and sour cream, I would use 4 ounces of cream cheese. Definitely make sure it's at room temperature. Definitely cream it with your butter and your sugar. I would add my sour cream at the end, alternating with my flour. I wouldn't use milk. Milk don't do nothing for a pound cake, not regular milk. Buttermilk, Yes, but to me, milk don't do nothing for a pound cake. I have used milk in recipes before, and I've since graduated. You know what I mean, from that. But milk, what y'all think? Milk don't do nothing for a pound cake. You get gluten streaks. Okay. Did you try the method that I just mentioned, or creaming your cream cheese with your? Maybe you can pull back on some of the ingredients. It just depends on how much you're making. Cream your cream cheese with your butter and your sugar. I cream the butter and the sugar first, and then add the cream cheese last. Room temperature with the cream cheese for better results, because you know cream cheese, if it's cold, it's clumpy. It's room temperature, almost, I wouldn't say warm, but it needs to be where you can just really cream it, and alternate your sour cream with your flour. And best of luck with that. Baking is the process. I used to get gluten streaks too, not as much anymore. Pecan creamer, what kind of cake though? You're welcome, Melissa. What kind of cake though? Is it a pecan cake? You can't get crushed pineapple in the UK? I don't know how long you would. I would just maybe zoop, zoop, zoop. Because with a food processor, ingredients mix up real fast. Even if you cutting pineapple will be, you have to have a really sharp knife. It'd be a little bit of a chore. But I would zoop, zoop, zoop. I wouldn't let that thing go, because it's gonna do your blend your pineapple up too fast. Zoop, zoop, zoop. And maybe even like cut it in rings, or cut it in chunks if you can get rings, maybe, so it's not having to break it down from like a bigger piece and maybe mix up your texture. And then use a cheesecloth or a strainer and press all that extra juice out of it and add it to your cake. Oh, you can do the Mile High. Best of luck. I'm so excited for you. Join the Mile High Club. Like, my pound cake started coming out even better with Mile High. I don't know. It's something different about that combination. You can do it though. I know it's a lot of ingredients, y'all. 10 eggs, but it's worth every little bit with the 10 eggs. 8 ounce. Okay, so when you use 8 ounces of cream cheese, 1/4 of buttermilk. Trial and error. Use her version if you think it's 100 ways to do anything. That's another option. And that's for a regular pound cake, Jacqueline, not a Mile High. You're welcome, Dorothy. Yeah, I like stopping the mixer each time. Rather use a hand mixer or a stand mixer. If you feel like your pound cakes might be over mixing and you're using a hand mixer, maybe switch to a stand mixer. Maybe only mix on one. As y'all see, I didn't mix that fast. I don't mix my pound cakes that fast. You can mix your butter and your sugar a little faster than you do your other ingredients, but I don't mix fast at all. And having your ingredients pre-measured and set out, I know it's a little bit of extra dishes and stuff like that, but it helps so you don't get distracted while you're baking and you don't have as many variables to have to think about, right? You just grab your ingredient and you add your next ingredient and you go. Just, and another thing, like we didn't use baking soda, right, or salt for this recipe. Let's say we did with unsalted butter. I go ahead and put my baking powder and my salt and my flour mixed, ready to go. One less thing I gotta do while I'm baking, when I get ready to add my flour mixture, everything is all together. I don't have to worry about that. But my method may not work for you. The next person's method may not work for you. You have to find your own method, because I watched other people's methods. I, talked to my family members and stuff like that. But like I was telling you about me and my mom, we don't bake the same at all. I want to offer a hard copy of my books one day. So many people ask me about that, and I appreciate y'all so much for that. I don't. I did get mine binded. Y'all, it cost me a little penny. It cost me. Let me go get them. As a matter of fact, it did cost me a little penny, but I would like to. I wanted like a service, and I tried Amazon. So I know a lot of y'all told me Amazon. It's with the formatting and stuff like that. You live and you learn with that. I probably need to create it in their platform. And it's just so much easier to do ebooks. But a lot of people have asked me about hard copy books. I know we have people that follow me and in my group that still appreciate that form of book. But I don't right now. I would like to. If I can find a company and I keep hearing that y'all, because I want to come out with some more ebooks before the end of the year. I keep hearing that y'all want them. Then maybe, because also there is one company that I saw. I don't know what their stipulations is as far as format and stuff like that, but you have to put money up for the books. It's fine if I feel like y'all really want them, right? But I have to put money up, and then I want them to send them. I work full time. I don't have time to send books. You know what I mean? As people order. But let me get my books, y'all. Hold on. Okay, so it may or may not be worth it to you, but it's an option. So what I did was I went to I didn't go to Staples. I did it online. I know everybody don't like online. You can do it in the store. They can help you in the store. And I placed the order to get them spiralized. And I love the job that they did with them. They did a great job. You pick the paper that you want. You pick the gloss that you want. The type of finish that you want. You pick the type of spiral that you want. You pick everything that you want. And I did the same thing with this book. And I wanted the extra plastic cover here, so the paper was protected. So I paid for that too. And I wanted this back on there, so I paid for that too. And you can print the recipes. Now, you can print them in black and white, you can print them in color, you can print them however you want them. But long story long, I don't have a hard copy right now. But that is an option. And let me drop my link to my store, as a matter of fact. Or to my beacons. My beacons, you can find every platform that I'm on. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, and my Amazon store, all my recipes. Yeah, I love how nice and easy it is to open and flip through. So I like how you can just completely flip it around. Print is large. Let me see. Let me get to another picture. I love how it came out. It could have been even, I wouldn't say it's unclear, but it has a, different type of finish, right? If I would have paid the extra money. These two, they cost me like $100. I mean, to have a book that I made that I'm proud of, I didn't mind paying for it. But I understand that could be a little high for other people. So print them at home, at the library, or wherever you want to print them, that might be an option for you too. When I add my eggs, I add them one at a time. I don't beat them together. I've seen some people beat them together. I haven't tried that yet. But if you try it, because Kevin, I know you're always testing and stuff like that, let us know. Prepping is definitely everything. Yeah, especially if you have like people that are distracting you while you're baking. I definitely agree. The phone ringing or whatever that you got going on, right, about other people's methods. Yeah, I'm trying to be everywhere. I love the larger print too, because it's just easy. Like, it's easy to like just scan the page to read the recipe with the large print. Okay, Dorothy said do pre-orders. Okay, I'm gonna accept that. I have my opinions about pre-orders. Okay, I'll say this. It has to be a company that I really trust, because anytime that you're doing anything, you putting your name behind it, and if anything happens with that company, it's gonna be a reflection of you instead of that company. You know what I mean? Um, as much, because people know you, not the company, and getting people's money back and stuff. So I accept that. That could work out. That could be something I'll do, or I could, maybe do a test, do a small order or something like that, and then see how that goes. And if it goes well, maybe do like what do people do, like pop-ups? So I'm gonna offer this for a certain period of time. I have this much inventory for you to get. I can't remember the name of it, but that is an idea. I'm gonna drop the recipe one more time for y'all. So the base recipe is here. We added vegetable oil. We eliminated the baking powder. We used salted butter. We eliminated the extra salt. I haven't tried Lulu. I'll look at. Okay, you just use that method. Okay, thank you. I'll look into Lulu. But I'm also trying to get some help. You know what I mean? I can't do it all. But get some help so I can do some different things. There's so many different things I want to do with my business. There's so many different variations of pound cake styles and everything I want to do. I just don't have all the time. You always beat your egg first and add them gradually. It saves a lot of time, especially when you have 10 eggs. So, okay, you beat them and add them gradually. So do you pour slow, or you pour a little bit and you stop? Look, I'm getting technical, but I need to know. And how does the cake come out when you use it? Reusable bundt thermometer? I've never heard of that. But I use the oven thermometer. I just keep it in the oven. Yeah, you definitely can't get distracted. You're welcome, Betty. I'm not gonna make a glaze for this cake. In my series though, I don't think I want to end it. Let me get my notebook. Let me know what y'all think. I posted Soccer to Me recipe in the comments, love. But you can go whip it like butter. Butter, Butter, even though I say whip it like butter. And you can find all my pound cake recipes. And I have other recipes on my site too. Let me see what I got. Alright, so we did that. There's like 2 or 3 other variations of this recipe that I want to try before we end the series. And this is 5, so we'll probably end on an even number, doing 3 more. So it'll be yeah, then by that time, what is this? June, July, August, September, we'll be closer into the holidays, and then I'll just try to see what we're gonna do from there. But no, we have 2 more variations. It'll be 3 though. All right. Yeah, y'all want to end with the doing one with the glaze? It doesn't matter. Either we'll end with the one with the glaze, or we'll end with one other thing I want to try. This is a surprise. I ain't gonna tell y'all. I ain't gonna tell y'all about that one. And one of them, it really isn't a test. It's just how I want to dress the cake in the end and see how that comes out. I don't want to do it with this one though, because it may change. I want to get the whole feel of the texture, the taste, and everything for this cake the way it is as is. And then I want to try that. Okay. So usually eyeball what you think is 1 egg. Okay. And you get a lighter crumb. Kevin, don't make me add something else to the series. See what you over here doing? You're gonna make me add something else to the series. I started this series because I don't always have time to just sit and test. Especially one we can sit and test a lot of recipes with a lot of different variations, but I started with this one. But I thought it would be fun, something that we can do live, give y'all my opinion. Like Kevin, he's made different variations of the ones that we made on live, so we can see if he liked it for himself, for y'all to do too, and stuff like that. So I really am enjoying the series. And Kevin gonna make it go on and on. But let me write that down though. Because it's a good way for us to interact and for me to get my testing done at the same time. And if you came over here to the live from my email list, email that I sent out earlier, thank you, y'all. I've been trying to remember. I was at work, so I had to do it during break. I've been trying to remember to let my email list know about the live. It's just so much to kind of do reminders in the group, reminders on my personal page, reminders on YouTube, but y'all don't really go live on YouTube as much, but I've been trying to make sure I bring my YouTube family in. So I was like, Ashley, you gotta remember to send an email today to let the people know. And I remember today. You want to end with the surprise? Okay, Alicia, I like how you think. Y'all want to end with the surprise. All right. I like that. I like that. And as I'm getting help, I talk about this almost every live, about us baking live together. As I get extra help, I really do want to make it time to do that. Maybe during the holidays, us having some discussions. I kind of want to do it with some people that bake my recipes, so you can give me some insight on what you think. We'll leave like that, on what you think, on some different things you would like to see. I'm gonna ask a question probably on my personal page and in the group coming this weekend. I'm posting a different recipe and I'm formatting my recipe differently. Do I have a lot of ads on my recipes? Yes. Small inconvenience for free recipe. I do have a jump to recipe button at the beginning of the post. The post is kind of talking about the recipe. I do give some points like you can take, especially if you don't listen to my video. I do post a video tutorial with each of my recipes. But I'm changing the format a little bit to have some processed photos. So I'm gonna post a link. Maybe not this weekend, but I'm gonna post asking, do you like this format or that format, as far as what I'm going to do moving forward for people who do go into the actual narrative of the recipe. My recipe card's always at the bottom of the post. Like I said, you can jump to recipe, but I do give tips within the post. Oh, you're welcome, man. Oh, you found it by accident? Okay, cool. You got the email. Great. And I'm going to remember next time. Y'all might have to tell me. I'm going to remember next time to send an email out earlier, because I know sometimes people may have to rearrange their day. I do this at 6 so I can bake the cake and I'm not up too late, because I do have to go to work tomorrow. Don't have a live too late. I've done them a little later before. People on different time zones have said, oh, it's a little late, I got to go to bed. It's hard to find that sweet spot. I found during the week works better, but I know 6 p.m. Central doesn't work for everybody. I always post a replay. if you happen to not be able to catch it. But I'm gonna go, y'all. This is a dishwasher kind of night because I'm not gonna stand up and wash all these dishes. I still need to figure out what I'm gonna eat for dinner. I think I'm gonna have some chicken wings. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble because I'm hungry and I'm tired. Hope y'all been having a good week though, and that you get some rest. I hope you enjoyed this live and catch me next time. I try to do them around the middle of the month. We missed that this month, right? We probably gonna miss it next month because my birthday is on the 15th of next month. So I am gonna be on vacation though, so we might do a live during my vacation. So I'm kind of like relax with y'all and stuff like that. Maybe do a little later. I don't know. We'll see. I just said earlier I wasn't gonna bake, but we are still gonna do our live. I may not create a new recipe, but we will still do our live. I sent an email. I said I committed to sending an email, and I posted in my group and on my personal page. Y'all have a good night. If you have a question, I'll catch it later when I'm going through the comments. I'll see y'all next time.